name is Lillian Okibe. Welcome to episode 21 of Vlogmas. If you've been following me for a while now, then you know how much I love DIYs. Like 90% of the things I use in my hair are basically DIYs. Those are like things I mix up myself. DIY, I feel like DIYs are really underestimated. Like you have no idea how much benefits, like things you can find around you, like plants, things you can find in your kitchen. You have no idea how beneficial they can be to your hair. Like I cannot remember the last time I used a store-bought deep conditioner or a store-bought hair mask, and I've been reaping so much benefit from the DIYs I've been using. Like my hair has gotten so much healthier than how it used to be. My hair has gotten like so much more juicy. I know I keep saying juicy, but I feel like that's the best word I can use to describe it. My hair has gotten so much more juicy than how it used to be, and I owe that a lot to DIY. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of the DIY ingredients that I'm obsessed with. And for those of you that have been watching my videos, you guys probably already know all these things because like I use them a lot. But I'm also going to be telling you guys what they do. So in case you are looking for those kind of benefits, then you know which particular ingredients to pick or to add into your hair routine. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, then definitely keep on watching. So before we go into the video proper, before I go ahead start sharing all these DIYs with you, I just want to quickly state that even though I use DIYs a lot, I mostly use them when I'm doing like hair masks and deep conditioners and things like that. I really do not use DIYs for leave-in products, except I'm mixing things that are dry, things that are like oils and butters and things like that do not have water in them. But when it starts to become like mixing things like aloe vera juice or like any form of juice in general, or when I have to start to add water into the mixture, then I really do not use those things as leave-ins, because I feel like when you invite water into any form of mixture, then you have to start to think about preservatives, and preservatives are mostly chemicals. So when you start to add preservatives, like it becomes so much more complicated. People really go to school for years to study like the chemistry of preservatives and things like that. So it's not something that you can just like Google and have a total understanding of, and that's why I usually advise that you stay away from preservatives if you are not trained in like product formulation and things like that. So I do not recommend you using DIYs that involve you adding water into them for leave-ins. I mostly use them as masks. Those are things that I'm going to have to rinse out after a while, so it doesn't remain in my hair long enough for microorganisms, bacteria and things like that to start to grow in my hair. So I have said that. I talked about that extensively. I explained better in one of my videos. I'm going to leave that video in the iCard just in case you're interested. So now that we have that out of the way, let us move into the DIY ingredients that I love so much. So I'm going to be listing them in groups. So the first group I'm going to be talking about are the DIY ingredients that are very nice for moisture retention. Basically things that help your hair to stay moisturized longer, help your hair to retain moisture. So the first on my list is water. I know you may be thinking that, oh, water is not a DIY. Like water, why are you saying water? But I feel like water is like the base for everything when it comes to hair. Water will do your hair so much good. It doesn't matter whether it's for moisture retention, for curl defining, for reduction of what's it called, breakage, or like thickening of hair, or basically anything. Water is life. Water will do your hair so much good. Since I started you guys that watch my videos, you guys that have been following my Vlogmas, you guys have gotten to see more like how I handle my hair on a day-to-day basis all through the week. And you guys you guys have seen how often I wet my hair in a week. Like basically like just a rough idea of how often I wet my hair weekly. I wet my hair more than like at least 2, 3 or more times in a week, and by just increasing how often I like wet my hair, I've seen a drastic improvement in the health of my hair, in the elasticity of my hair, in the bounce of my hair, in the strength of my hair. Like water will do your hair so much good, and I cannot say this enough. I basically say this in all my hair videos. Water is life. Water will do your hair so much good. Now let me not dwell too much on that, but just try it and you're going to see how much difference it will make in the health of your hair. So the next thing that I'm going to be talking about that actually helps with moisture retention, that helps with softening of your hair. If your hair is like very dry and difficult to manage, and like it's just so much work and so much, like, it's not soft and everything. This ingredient, this is something I'm very new to. This is something I just started using very recently, but I have seen like anytime I just think about how beneficial it is, I get so surprised. I'm like, why didn't I start using this earlier? And that is cow milk. Like you guys saw the first time I used the cow milk with my hair. If you guys have not watched that video, I'll link it in the cards. Like, I was so shocked and so surprised with my result. Like it instantly made my hair like really juicy and really soft. And since I started incorporating cow milk into my hair routine, like, I have been doing this now for I think a few weeks now or so, my hair has become more like juicy and like more like bouncy. It has become like softer, not in a weird limp mushy way, but like softer in like a really healthy way. Like, it has transformed my hair in ways that I cannot even imagine. And I'm like, how is this even possible? And that just got me thinking, like, it's kind of understandable, because milk kind of like has almost every, like, that's why babies in general, like the child of a cow feeds on milk, because milk kind of like has every nutrient that the animal needs to develop and things like that. So I kind of understand why milk can be so beneficial. But like it just made me start thinking that if cow milk can be so good, then I have no, like, that means breast milk from humans will be amazing. And I cannot wait to start producing breast milk so that I'll put it in my hair and just see how it will be. I just see like what kind of effects to have, basically. I know that sounds weird but that's just like how I'm thinking. But like, I'm just like, cow milk will transform your hair to make your hair more juicy and like softer and to stay moisturized longer. Now, this twist I'm wearing now, the last time I moisturized this twist was when I installed the twist. Like, that was a few, probably 5 days ago or so. And my hair, like, I've not moisturized my hair since then. I've not moisturized my hair since when I installed this twist, and my hair still feels really juicy and really moisturized, and that is not normal for me. Before I started using cow milk in my hair, like, my hair, I used to need to moisturize my hair like every 2 days or like every 3 days at most. But like, my hair feels like I just moisturized it yesterday. Like, it still feels really juicy and moisturized, and it still looks pretty shiny. Yeah, that's another thing cow milk does. It helps to improve the shine of the hair, and I cannot believe it took me so long to start using this. But I just want to tell you that if you have not tried cow milk, then I highly recommend it. Now, the way I like to use cow milk, I usually use powder milk. That is cow milk. I don't think you're going to get the same benefits if you use soy milk or if you use like coconut milk or anything. Like, I'm referring to cow milk, and I usually use the powder milk, the powder cow milk. I particularly use pig milk. I don't know how many of you know pig milk, but I think that it doesn't really depend. It doesn't really matter the brand that you use, because like most times I've used pig milk, but I think once I used a very cheap milk just to see if it will be also beneficial. I think I used Milksy. Those of you that are Nigerians have probably seen the milk. That is way more affordable than pig milk. I used this and I had like very similar results. So yeah, but I also want to tell you that using cow milk in your hair can be very messy. So I highly recommend that if you're adding water, add just a little water so that it's very thick, and then you can probably add it to your regular deep conditioner or hair mask that you normally do, just to make sure that everything will just be thick, so that by the time you apply it in your hair, it's going to be thick. Like, application will not be as messy. But if you don't mind the mess, like if you're going to be doing it in the shower or anything, applying it alone will do you so much good. Like, I feel like you can use just cow milk as your deep conditioner, like as your weekly deep conditioner, and your hair will do great. Your hair will be amazing. Like, I cannot say this enough. I've shown you guys, I think I have 3 videos already on my channel where I showed you guys using cow milk. I'm going to link them all like here in the cards. I'll probably create a playlist so that you guys can see like all the times I've used it, what I did differently to make application easier and things like that. And yeah, like I'm so if you have not tried it, I highly recommend that you go and give cow milk a try. Like, Yeah, just and several of you have tried it after I shared those videos with you guys. So several of you have tried it and you guys have told me that like yes, like what you say is true, like it's so amazing. So I highly recommend that you give it a try. Now the first time I actually saw anybody use cow milk in their hair, I actually saw a video. It was someone with straight hair. It was a white lady that used it, and I was like, oh, the person was like, use how to use milk to straighten your hair, to make your hair silky and things like that. So and that just that just made me skeptical, because I was like, my hair is kinky coily, I don't want to do anything that will make it straight, probably make it straight basically. But I don't know, maybe for straight hair it makes your hair straighter, but for our kind of hair it's not going to make your hair straight, but it's going to make your hair like juicy and slippery and like silky. It will still be kinky coily, but it's going to be silky. Like I don't know how to explain it, but cow milk is amazing and I highly recommend that you give it a try if you have not tried it already. The next ingredient I'm going to be talking about that helps the hair to retain moisture, I've said this so many times already on my channel, is aloe vera. Aloe vera, now personally people say that aloe vera is moisturizing, so they just spray aloe vera juice in their hair and their hair is moisturized. But for my hair it doesn't work that way. Like if I put aloe vera juice in my hair, it's going to make my hair drier. And after doing some research, I got to know that aloe vera is actually a humectant. Like funny, I saw it on Google, I saw it on several articles on Google. Aloe vera is actually a humectant, and that kind of explained why it doesn't like moisturize my hair for me. And so many other people have complained about that when they use aloe vera in their hair, it makes their hair drier and crunchy and things like that. And that's because aloe vera is a humectant. So if your atmosphere is dry and you put aloe vera in your hair, it will most likely suck out the little moisture that you previously had in your hair, and that way it will make your hair drier. But if the atmosphere is humid and things like that and you put aloe vera juice in your hair, it will draw in moisture from the atmosphere into your hair, and then your hair will be more moisturized and more juicy. And that's why I feel like aloe vera is best used in masks, like deep conditioners, hair masks and things like that, where you're going to, the whole atmosphere is wet, your hair is wet already, and then you put the aloe vera on your hair and then you cover your hair with a plastic bag. The whole atmosphere is like humid and wet. That will just help to make your hair to drink in water, such that when you rinse out your hair, you rinse out the whole mask from your hair is going to be more like juicy and to have retained more moisture. That's how I like to use aloe vera. I really do know using aloe vera as leave-in doesn't really work. The only way I can even try to use aloe vera as a leave-in is if I really dilute it with water. But if I just use plain aloe vera juice in my hair, like it makes my hair really dry. And I believe that's mostly because of the properties that it's a humectant. So yeah, but using aloe vera consistently in your hair regimen as like a mask or adding it to your deep conditioner or things like that will do your hair so much good. It will help your hair to retain moisture longer, and it will help your hair to become juicy over time. There are so many other benefits of aloe vera, and I'm going to be mentioning them later on in other properties that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. But for now, let's just talk about the moisture. Aloe vera actually helps to make your hair more juicy and more moisturized. So if you're someone that is suffering from really dry hair, no matter what you do, it seems like your hair is always dry and crusty and thirsty, then I highly recommend aloe vera. Incorporate aloe vera into your hair regimen as a hair mask, as a deep conditioner, like as an ingredient in your, add it to your hair mask, add it to your deep conditioner. Basically things that you apply in your hair in a wet environment, cover with a plastic bag, and you're going to see an improvement in your hair over time. The next category of DIYs I'm going to be talking about today are basically things that have helped my hair to be more defined, that have helped to improve my hair, like that has helped to reduce bad frizz. There is good frizz and there's bad frizz. There's good frizz of like, there's the frizz of your natural hair texture, like because my hair is very tightly coiled, like looking at my hair now, you may look at it and you say it's frizzy. That's good kind of frizz. But then there's that bad kind of frizz that just makes your hair look really unhealthy and like it's damaged, like you have split ends and all those kind of things. Like all these ingredients I'm going to be sharing with you are things that actually help your hair, that have helped my hair to be more defined, and it has helped to reduce that kind of bad frizz. So if you guys that watch my videos, you guys, like recently you guys have seen that my hair has become really defined. Now I twist my hair and I curl my ends, and you can see my ends are really coily and really juicy and coily. I can just step out of the shower with no products in my hair. You guys can see all those really tiny coils in my hair, and that never used to be. My hair never used to be that coily. My hair used to be frizzy. It used to be kinky, but without any pattern of coil definition. All these ingredients I'm going to be sharing with you now are things that have helped my hair to be more defined and more like and less frizzy basically. So the first thing on my list is oats. Now the first time I used oats in my hair, I think it was sometime in June this year or so. That was probably 6 months ago. So the first time I used oats in my hair, when I saw what it did to my hair, I told you guys that if I continue to use this in my hair every week for the next few months, my hair is going to be obviously more defined. And what I said is actually what happened. Like, my hair has gotten so much more defined, and sometimes now I look at my hair and I'm like, is this even really my hair? Like, this is so strange. Like, I had no idea that my hair could be like this. And I owe that, number one, to oats. Oats will help to make your hair more defined. Oats will help to clump your hair in like a juicy lubricating, like moisturized, like that's just how it is. Like, oats, I absolutely swear by oats. Oats will make your hair more defined, and that's why the first time I used oats, I used it as a gel. I'll link the video up in the iCards. I used it as a gel and it made my hair defined, but like now I use oats as an ingredient in my deep conditioner, and by using it consistently, my hair has gotten obviously more defined. Like, it's crazy, and like I cannot even I cannot believe it. And that's why sometimes some people look at my hair like, I'm confused. Like, I'm confused if your hair is fussy, because somehow people think that fussy hair has no curl pattern. It actually does. It has a curl pattern. It's just that the curls are very tiny, that you most likely cannot see them from a distance. So oats have made my hair more defined. I feel like the best way to use oats is basically in your hair mask, in your deep conditioner. I feel like you're going to get the best benefits that way, as opposed to using it as a gel, because as a gel, oats gel is like, it has a very strong gel cast. So if you do not have like a good layer of like a heavy duty moisturizer under the oats gel, your hair is going to be really crunchy and like really stiff. So using oats gel, you get mad definition, but it's not going to be those kind of soft movable coils that many people want. So I don't really recommend oats as a gel if you're not going to be using like a heavy duty moisturizer on that. Or another way that I use oats gel is, if I'm going to be using oats gel, I use just a teeny tiny bit of the gel, just because if you use too much, your hair is going to be really stiff and crunchy. So the best way I like to use oats is as a hair mask, and it does an amazing job. The next thing that will help your hair to be more defined is aloe vera. I mentioned aloe vera before. Aloe vera helps with moisture. It also helps your hair to be more defined. Now, I don't really know the science behind that, but I know that even before I started using oats, when I started using aloe vera consistently in my hair, I noticed that my hair became more like, the fact that your aloe vera kind of like helps your hair to retain moisture, kind of like draws in moisture into your hair. When your hair is like when your hair is at its peak of moisture, it's generally easier for it to be defined. I don't know if that makes sense. So that's kind of like the principle that works behind oats behind aloe vera helping your hair to be more defined. The next group of DIYs I'll be talking about are DIYs that are very good for detangling. Now, I have a full detailed video on this already on my channel. I'll link it up in the iCards, but I'm just going to list some of them to you, and that's aloe vera, oats, okra, what Nigerians call achi. Flaxseed is also a really good detangler and things like that. I'll link that video up in the iCard, so I'll not dwell too much on it because I already have a video on that. So the next group of DIYs I'm going to be talking about are basically DIY ingredients that have helped my hair to become like, that have helped my edges to thicken out, and generally just help my hair to thicken out overall. And number one on my list, you guys that watch my videos will probably be saying this with me, is ginger. Ginger helps to stimulate hair growth from the root. So if you have like dead, dormant hair follicles that are just there, just sleeping, they're not producing any hair, incorporating ginger into your hair routine, and particularly applying on your scalp, will help to revive those, or like awaken those dead hair follicles, so that they start producing hair. So ginger helps to grow your hair from the root. It helps your hair to get thicker from the root, and over time, if those like hair strands that start growing from the roots, over time they're going to grow out, and then to make your hair thicker in general, and also for your edges. So if you're someone that having issues with your edges, I highly recommend incorporating ginger into your hair routine. Like, it will transform your edges, like you will not even be able to believe your eyes when you see it. Another thing on my list for thickening of hair, edges and hair in general is Jamaican black castor oil. Now I have a full detailed video on how to thicken your hair on my channel, so I'm going to link it up in the iCard. So I'm not going to dwell too much on the principle, like the science behind all these ingredients. I'm just going to be listing them for you guys, so that you guys, in case you're having that issue, you can know what to reach out for. Jamaican black castor oil is amazing. It also works in a similar manner, but the thing is, Jamaican black castor oil is also a humectant. So if the weather is very, very dry, it may have an effect in making your hair drier than how it normally is if your weather is very, very dry. So the next group of DIYs I'm going to be referring to, and this is going to be my last category of DIYs, DIYs that kind of help to reduce breakage, that kind of help to reduce breakage whenever you handle your hair, whether you're detangling, you're braiding, you're twisting, whatever it is you're doing. These group of DIY ingredients I'm going to be sharing with you help to reduce how much your hair breaks. So the first thing on my list is oats. Now, I mentioned earlier how great oats is in defining coils, but oats also helps to strengthen the hair, and so when your hair is stronger, it generally breaks less. Another advantage of oats is that it helps to provide sleep for the hair. So while you have oats in your hair, if you're going to be detangling your hair while there's still oats in your hair, then it's going to help to like improve the sleep in your hair, and that will just make detangling easier. Now, if you're going to be using oats in your hair and you want to add all the benefits of coil definition, detangling and reduction in breakage and strengthening of the hair, I advise that you apply the oats mask into your hair, cover with a plastic bag, leave for a few minutes, just allow the nutrients and the nutrients of the oats to penetrate into your hair, strengthen your hair and everything, and just work, you know, loosen all the knots and tangles that it can loosen. And then after you've done that, when you remove the shower cap, just before you rinse, that's the best time to detangle. Like, you're going to get the best results if you detangle at that point, as opposed to detangling your hair just when you're applying the oats in your hair. Now, the next ingredients that helps to reduce breakage is my first love. I love this ingredient so much. I've been using these ingredients for years. That's the first thing I ever started using in my hair at all, and that is shea butter. Shea butter helps to reduce breakage. Like, if you constantly use shea butter in your hair the right way, now shea butter will not work if you're always using it on dry hair. But using shea butter on wet hair, spray water in your hair, then you apply shea butter, especially if you're detangling, it helps to kind of elongate the hair, because generally our hair tends to like coil and things like that, and when you're trying to detangle your hair to remove shed hairs or remove knots and things like that, it's better when your hair is kind of elongated. So applying shea butter on your hair kind of helps to provide just the right amount of elongation for your hair, so that it becomes easier for you to detangle, and that helps to greatly reduce breakage. So if you're someone that, and also applying shea butter in your hair helps to prevent knots and tangles, especially those tiny knots and tangles that you find just at the tip of your hair. Applying shea butter, particularly on your ends regularly, would help to greatly reduce that, and that would generally help to reduce hair breakage for you overall. And the best way I like to use shea butter, I usually add shea butter into my deep conditioner, because shea butter is very, very nourishing, and it's also softening too if you are applying it on wet hair. But the best way I like to use shea butter is applying it directly on my ends, not in a deep conditioner. Like, after wetting my hair, like how I moisturize my hair, I usually moisturize my hair with shea butter. So applying shea butter on wet hair helps to keep my hair moisturized longer. Apart from that, it also helps to kind of like elongate my ends in such a way that it prevents knotting and matting and tangling and things like that. So the last thing I'm going to be talking about that also helps to reduce breakage, and I feel like at this point, now that I'm looking back, I feel like it seems like these ingredients keeps coming up over and over again in almost every category, and that is aloe vera. Aloe vera acts in such a way that it helps to like smooth the hair strands, such that when it's time for your hair to glide past each other, it becomes way easier. And if your hair is having like a smooth time moving across, like moving over each other, it generally just helps to reduce breakage, because one of the causes of breakage is if there is too much friction, and so your hair starts to knot up and starts to like tangle. It doesn't like glide smoothly over each other. That's one of the main causes of breakage. So because aloe vera kind of helps to smooth the hair such that it makes it easier to, you know, brush over each other. It just makes hair loss, it reduces it reduces hair loss drastically. So with that, we come to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've used any of all these ingredients and it has worked for you, please let me know down in the comment section below. The last thing I would also want to talk about is Ayurvedic herbs. I've been using Ayurvedic herbs for a few months now, and I have quite a lot to say, but that's a video for another day. I'll probably share that video maybe tomorrow, maybe later on. If you guys would like to hear my thoughts on Ayurvedic herbs, how far, like all the things I've noticed, do I think it's worth the hype and things like that, then please let me know down in the comment section if you guys want to see that, and I'll probably make a video on that before the end of this Vlogmas series. So yeah, like I said, that will come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed to my channel already, please make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys tomorrow in episode 22 of Vlogmas.